Gopal Guru has a set of prayers that he gives and is given in different places. Prayers he has for each one of the words of the Maha Mantra. So as you're chanting the Maha Mantra, for him, his meditation on each word is a different short phrase or prayer. And one of those is, Krishna, please purify my mind with knowledge of how I can worship you through your devotees. So this is one of the prayers of Gopal Guru for meditating on chanting the holy names, that we pray to Krishna to please give us some intelligence, some knowledge, how we can actually come closer to him through the devotees. And often when I've read that, I thought, you would think he would say, through your pure devotee. But he doesn't specify that. He simply says, through your devotees. So Gopal Guru is praying in this way to have his mind purified by intelligence of how to serve the Vaishnavas, how to serve the devotees. And we see that Krishna sets the example himself by coming as the servant. Specifically coming as servant to Arjuna. We know the pastime of the South Indian Brahmin who was having deep realization from reciting the Bhagavad Gita, how he was overwhelmed with ecstatic symptoms simply by recognizing God's mercy, that God is so merciful that he actually comes as the servant of his disciple, of his devotee, Arjuna. And in that way he actually takes up a post as chariot driver of Arjuna, which we know, we've said many times, this is considered menial service in one sense, although important, but also a service that means that whoever is the driver of the chariot, that when the bowman or the archer or the warrior is guiding or instructing the driver how to move, it means that he has to actually kick the driver. So as he's holding the bow, he can't say, "Oi, mate, can you go that way?" He's like, if you've ever ridden a horse, you use your legs basically to steer the horse. Also, you kick on the side that you want the horse to go. Is that correct, basically? So, like that, you can imagine in a heated battle like Kurukshetra, that Krishna must have been getting quite a few little nudges in the rib cage from Arjuna. So understanding this position, that Krishna is actually coming to take up the service of being a servant of his devotee. Another example from the Shastra is King Prataparudra, who gained the mercy of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu really only once Chaitanya Mahaprabhu saw that he was doing what?
Sleeping.
Huh? That he was sweeping the street. He was sweeping the street in front of Lord Jagannath. And he had, although he was the king of Orissa, then he took up the menial service of sweeping the street before the Lord. And so, because of this humility, because of this example of being willing to come down from a high position and become the servant, then he gained the mercy of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And of course the example of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu himself throughout the pages of the Chaitanya Charitamrita, constantly setting the example of being a servant, many times himself personally serving the devotees, prasadam, the passing of Haridas Thakur, carrying Haridas Thakur down to the to the sea, and so many different instances where Lord Chaitanya is actually himself taking up this service and making the statement that I'm not a sannyasi, I'm not a vanaprastha, or grihastha, or brahmachari, I'm not a brahmin, kshatriya, vaishya, or shudra, but I'm simply Gopi Bhartur Padakamala, your das, anu das. That I am simply the servant of the servant of the servant of the gopis of Vrindavan. So this is a mood that permeates our Krishna consciousness philosophy, and it's the first line of this verse, Trinadapi Sunichena, that one should be more humble than the downtrodden grass. So, of course, we could get into just this topic for quite some time, but I'd like to move on to the second point of this pastime, which is that Jesus instructed his disciples that once I'm gone, then you should also do the same thing, that you should wash one another's feet. Now, whether or not Jesus actually meant that you should wash one another's feet may or may not be true, but certainly the principle that was trying to be communicated was that in my absence you should cooperate and you should serve one another. You should serve each other as if he is the master. And it was also clear, he made statements that it was clear that in his absence he didn't expect anyone to try and take his position as the leader. He expected that they all should cooperate together. So this example we can see very clearly in the life of both Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, whose disappearance day it was yesterday, and also in the life of Srila Prabhupada. So we have two living examples of great souls. I was hearing some nice pastimes yesterday about Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur on his disappearance day, reading from, coming from Bhakti Vikash Maharaj's book. You know, such an exalted soul, such a great personality, and actually I'm trying to remember or share this one couple of pastimes that he shared with me, specifically one around that he was actually given instructions by his spiritual master. I think the first one was never to go to Calcutta. The second one was to never accept disciples. And the third one was not to associate with worldly people. So if anyone knows anything about Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, then you know that he accepted thousands of disciples. He associated with some of the most top-class personalities and dignitaries, you know, specifically trying to preach to the English lords and dignitaries. And the main temple was in, right? Actually, I think even where Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur left his body, right, wasn't it? It was in Calcutta. Yeah. So, how do we understand this? Such a great soul has disobeyed the three instructions of the spiritual master, the bona fide guru. Well, it's explained that Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur himself was questioned about this, and he explained very nicely. And this explanation shows the consciousness of an acharya and the consciousness of a paramahamsa. He explained that, first of all, that it's not that I go to Calcutta. When I go there, I don't go to Calcutta. I go to Vaikuntha.